Hey YouTube, so a lot of you guys don't know, but maybe you should know, but I like weapons. Two, I'm also a huge TMNT fan. And I basically had two favorite Ninja Turtle characters, which was Raphael and Mikey. But I always liked Raphael because of his temper and the fact that he was a ruthless fighter. So we're gonna look at 15 dark secrets about Raphael. Cool but rude. 15 dark secrets you never knew about Raphael. Okay. Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael. Any kids who grew up in or after the 1980 knows that those names as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as a team of humanoid mutated turtles with training in ninjutsu. Since they were created in 1984, the turtles have taken the world by storm in the form of comic books, TV shows, movies, and toys. The world of TMNT has grown up over the years to entertain generations of kids, but one member stands out. We're talking about one of the most popular members of the team, the gritty and streetwise warrior who has a bad attitude, sarcastic humor, and a pair of sharpened sai, Raphael. Raphael is a turtle who's always first to start a fight and argues with his other three brothers constantly, but has a heart of gold and will protect Leonardo, Donatello, and Michelangelo with his life. You may know and love Raphael, but if you never seen anything but the TV shows or the movies, you might not know everything about the anti-hero in 2018. Nickelodeon plans to bring a new show, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, back to the air. So CBR is here to discuss 15 surprising and dark things you never knew about what is sure to be the show star, Raphael. Okay. Sharpened Sai. Now this one's about the Nick version of TMNT, the one that recently came out. So we're going to read this one. Sharpened Sai. As any fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles knows, each turtle has its own signature weapon. Leonardo uses the katana, Donatello favors a bow staff, Michelangelo uses nunchaku, and Raphael's weapon of choice is the sai. The sai is an ancient weapon that was developed in countries like India and Thailand before it made its way to Japan. And Raphael's hand is a powerful weapon, but he's made it more deadly. Raphael's weapon is technically known as the sharpened sai. That's because the sai is usually considered a defensive weapon used to block attacks or jab. The longest end is usually rounded and blunt, but Raphael has sharpened the sai to impale and slice. Yeah, the regular sai wasn't good enough for him, and he had to make it more hardcore. Raphael is misspelled. All of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were famously named after painters from the Italian Renaissance. When the Fast and Deadly Turtles were created by Kevin Eastman to Peter Laird in 1984, the two men didn't know any Japanese names to give their creations because they didn't have the internet, so they pulled a book of Renaissance painters off their shelf and used those. Leonardo was named after Leonardo da Vinci. Michelangelo is named after Shocker. Michelangelo and Donatello is named after Donato di Niccolò di Beto Bardi. Unfortunately, Raphael was a bit of a mistake. Raphael is named after the famous painter and architect known widely as simply Raphael, but that wasn't the painter's original name. His real name was Rafael Senzio da Urbino, so Raphael's name should have been Rafael. He is a killer, which is no surprising to me. If you only know the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the TV shows and movies, you may think that you know Raphael, but you don't. In the more kid-friendly versions, Raphael and his brothers are wackier and mainly use their weapons to knock people out or destroy robots. Raphael has an attitude but is a gentle soul at heart. In the original comics, things were much different. Remember that ninjas were first and foremost assassins, and that's what the Turtles were in the first issue in 1984. The Turtles were trained by their master Splinter to kill Shredder, and they did in the first issue. Throughout the comic series, Raphael was the most violent of the four, leaving bloody bodies in his wake during every battle. While the other brothers killed out of duty, Raphael loved killing. Dino Raph. In 2003, Mirage published Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 12, Peter Lamb Jr., which had a shocking twist for Raphael. He turned into a dinosaur, and sort of in the issue, Raphael was attacked by a gang who turned out to be vampires. Normally, he would have gotten fangs and started drinking blood, but because of the mutagen in his body, Raphael didn't turn into a vampire. Instead, he turned into a dinosaur-like turtle monster who went out of control with primal fury. Raphael managed to get his rage under control with the help of Leatherhead and Casey Jones to stop the vampires. He also turned himself back into normal turtle again, much to his relief, well as normal as a mutant turtle can be. 11. Raphael broke his nose. In 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie, Raphael met his partner in the comics, Casey Jones. The meeting didn't go smoothly as he had to stop the vigilante from beating some crooks to death. When Raphael stood up for them, Casey Jones used a cricket bat to knock him headfirst into a trash can. The animatronic masks for the turtles were incredibly engineering for the time, but they caused problems for the people inside. While filming this scene, the mask was crushed on impact, breaking the nose off the stuntman inside. The stuntman had to be replaced with another named Ken Scott. Scott had been hired to play one of the foot soldiers, especially the one who traded nunchuck moves with Michelangelo. The stuntman suffered to make the movie so good. That's not fun. 10. Raphael was disfigured. In 1996, Image published a series that started out with a bang. Literally, in the first issue by Gary Carlson and Frank Fosco, the Turtles face an army of cyborgs led by the female ninja Pimiko. When the cyborgs escaped, Raphael found and started poking around with one left behind. Before he knew it, the cyborg opened the fire right in his face, leaving him badly burned and scarred. During this dark period of Raphael's life, he took to wearing one of Casey Jones' hockey masks to cover his disfigured face, like the Phantom of the Opera. Eventually, he whittled that down to the eye patch, a constant reminder of how he felt to protect himself. Fortunately, other comics moved on from the eye patch, and he was back to normal. 9. Raphael was Shredder. By far, Shredder is the most dangerous and well-known enemy of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. With his skilled martial arts, razor-sharp blades, and ruthless ambition, he's been the nemesis of the Turtles since his creation. That's why it might surprise you that Raphael once became Shredder. It all went down in Image's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 13, Gary Carson, Frank Fosco. When monsters attacked the hideout of the Foot Clan, Raphael found and put on a suit of armor to pretend to be Shredder. He did his job too well, defeating the mobsters and earning the respect of the remaining foot soldiers so he could become the new Shredder to lead the clan in New York. Eventually, he stepped down, but his anger and violence made him right at home among the foot. Raphael's missing eye. Move to see earlier. You know, they say it's all fun and games until... Wait, what does that say? Raphael's missing... Okay. Games until someone loses an eye. Well, that's happened to Raphael many times. He always lives on the edge, but he eventually went too far. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures, Archie Comics took the TMNT into new directions, including into the future. In 42, Dean, Claren, Chris Allen, Raphael, and Donatello traveled to the present day to make the Turtles into their future. There they discovered future Raphael had lost an eye during a fight against Shredder. Terminator X and Armageddon. In fact, in other future timelines of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Raphael's left eye is missing, and the reasons always vary, but the reality is that Raphael just looks cooler with an eye patch. Intergalactic Pro Wrestler. Wait, what the hell? Raphael Leonardo. While Raphael is known as a ruthless fighter, he can fight without killing. his opponent sometimes. That was proven in 1989 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventure 7. Dean Clariton, Jim Lawson, when the Turtles were transported in an interdimensional count's head, just go with it. In an asteroid where two aliens stomped and slain created a popular TV show inspired in the form of intergalactic wrestling. The aliens had kidnapped the Turtles to be the latest competitors in the show, and the only way home would be to fight for their freedom while the other Turtles were worried about their new challenge. Raphael put on a black suit and went to town. Of course, the heroes won the match and went back to Earth, courtesy of the floating cow head, but while the other Turtles abandoned their wrestling looks, Raph kept his around for a while to really lean into the whole ninja thing and to establish his own visual identity. Raphael's broken shell. In 2012 TV series by Nickelodeon, the Turtles returned to the airwaves with an all-new look and a new attitude. One of the most self-titled but important changes came to the design of Raphael. While the shell of the Turtles have all remained the same, Raphael's shell had visible cracks and chips that none of the other Turtles had. While it was never fully explained in the TV show, the comics have shown Raphael has no regard for his well-being. He often leads into battle first without concern for self-defense or control. He doesn't care about being hurt, so his shell had taken more of a beating than other members of the team. That change also makes him easier to recognize among his brothers. Well, I mean, I kind of do remember the episode where they were just baby turtles and Raphael ended up getting knocked out of the cart and a piece of his shell chipped, so that could explain it. Anyways, moving on. 5. Raphael was homeless. Oh, I remember that. I was reading about it. In 2011, IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by Tom Waltz and Kevin Eastman introduced a new version of the Turtles with a different origin. In this story, the Turtles were a genetic experiment by Baxter Stockman to make armored super soldiers. They all started out together as regular Turtles until they mutated into humanoid forms except for Raphael. Raphael was attacked by a hungry cat and taken away. When he mutated, Raphael was left alone and homeless, wandering the streets of New York and eating from dumpsters. Raphael ended up rescuing a young Casey Jones from his abusive father. When his brothers finally found him and Casey Jones, Raphael had no memory of them or his identity, but Splinter trained and brought him back into the family. Raphael's voice hated the movie. Rob Paulsen has been voicing cartoon characters for decades, but one of his most popular gigs have been for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. In 1987, Paulsen was the voice of Raphael for the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV series that continued until 1995 and 2012. Nickelodeon's reboot of the series brought Paulsen back to the TMNT, although the time he voiced Donatello instead of Raphael. As the voice of two turtles, he has a lot to say about the franchise, and he has rated in on the new movies. He doesn't like them. In 2014, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was made into a new and more mature movie. When asked about the PG-13 movie, Paulsen admitted that he thought it was too violent and there was too much cursing, especially for a film marketed to kids. Some parents agreed with him. Raphael's actor was claustrophobic. George Paris was the voice and body of the tough-talking Raphael in 1990 movie Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He did a great job adding a New York accent and an edgy attitude, except for a slight problem. He was claustrophobic. Performing as a turtle, Pace had to wear a large animatronic helmet that completely covered his head, and only a few holes for the eyes and an opening in the mouth. When it was open, Paris couldn't keep his mask on his head the whole time while he was on the set. He had to keep the mask off right up until his performance, and when he was done, the crew had to rush to get it off of him before he had a panic attack. Raphael punched Hitler. Okay. In 1989, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventure 64, the Turtles discovered Adolf Hitler's brain was saved and used to power a time machine called the time slip generator. Using the time machine, Hitler created a robot body to travel into the past to meet his younger self to change history for his own benefit. When the Turtles went back in time to World War II, they found the Hitler of the time in his disassembled body brain working together with Nazi soldiers. A fight broke out and Brain was destroyed. Raphael couldn't kill Hitler and change history, so he punched the Führer in the face for the millions killed. If we think they let him get off easy, they didn't. The Turtles talked Hitler into thinking he was in hell and shooting himself. Raphael switched teams. Okay. I gotta get in position here. I'm trying to get comfortable. Oh, goodness. There's might be the longest YouTube video I've ever done. Okay, we're on the last one. Alright. Raphael switched teams. Raphael has always been a part of the he. Well, not always. His role in the team has always been a problem. With Raphael clashing with his brothers and fighting with Leonardo to be the leader, knowing that it might not be surprising that he once worked on another team. In 1991, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Adventures 19, Riley and Brown, Stephen Murphy, a group of humanoid animals came together to team up and form the mighty Mutanimals. The Mutanimals were a spin-off of the Turtles that include Leatherhead, Mondo Gecko, and Raphael. He was one of the founding members, although he didn't stay, letting the Mutanimals go on to their own adventures in their own short-lived comic book and later appearance in other Turtle medias. Okay, guys, so that's 15 dark secrets that I just read about Raphael. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. I'm probably going to do like a comic acting video too. So stay tuned for that. I might do it today. Who knows? Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video.